Gentlemen, we're on the eve of the 2021 NFL season. Sunday number one, week one of the picks. It's great to be back. I'm going to give a quick shout out. Generally, obviously, my audience is three usually on this video. Occasionally, I get a couple views from a couple special people out there. So, Steven, Karen, if you're out there and you watch this one, trust me, you're in my thoughts and my prayers. I know it's been a tough time, but brighter days are on the horizon for good people, and I'm praying for you and wishing you nothing but the best. As far as 2021 goes for me, it's been a great year. I mean, really, I think I've turned the corner, and all I do is win. This has been a winning year for me. Gambling, competition-wise, all around, the confidence is just sky high, and we are swinging for the fences this season, gentlemen. Couple quick notes before we get into the picks. I did go to the Solheim Cup on Monday, which was honestly what a wonderful experience. Kind of a last minute decision. Got tickets for like $50. Solheim Cup is like the Ryder Cup for women. USA versus Europe. I mean, it was in Toledo. What a great atmosphere. It felt normal. American flags everywhere. Everybody in a great mood. Would have loved to see the USA get a win, but they fall to Europe 15-13. And honestly, just watching these women golf, I think it's a real good exercise to, you go to these events and you see, their swing speeds definitely mirror something more like the casual golfer, like the four of us, and seeing their ball flights, it's like every time that you've ever hit a ball perfect, that's what their ball looks like just about every time. So it was really fun, an enjoyable experience, and I would recommend to anybody, if you can get out there and get to a Ryder Cup, get to a Solheim Cup, the team atmosphere, the match play, it was so much fun. Not going to do a ton of COVID stuff this year. I think the COVID thing somehow, unfortunately, has devolved into some sort of, you're either on one side or the other. There doesn't seem to be very much middle ground. And that's kind of the tone I like to strike here on this podcast. I will say one thing when it comes to the NFL specifically. Obviously, this is going to be a hurdle that teams are going to have to deal with on a week in, week out basis with player availability. The NFL has definitely made it very clear that we're going to make it very difficult on players or staff or whatever that are unvaccinated. We're going to make it much more difficult for you to play compared to the vaccinated players. And I think it's it's a little weird, perverse maybe even, when it comes to the NFL labor union and the extents that they've gone to protect players that are criminals over the years who have done, much worse things than not getting a shot. That have had, domestic violence, rape, dog fighting, whatever it might be. They've gone to bat for all these players, and they're, not protecting, whatever. I don't know what the percentages of unvaccinated players, but they're not doing anything to try and stand up for them. And hey, I mean, maybe that's where we're going in the world. That's it. Let's get into it. Let's dive deep. Sit down at the table, get our fork and knife out, and ready to dig into the steak. We're gonna do the normal. Do the games. Go through all the games. Do the games that I'm not taking, and then do the games that I am taking last. Quick side note, I am recording this about 10:45 in the morning on Saturday, not Saturday evening. My picks are not officially in, so if something comes up today, injury, whatever, and I have to switch a pick, I do reserve that right. But let's go out to Tennessee, where we have the Tennessee Titans hosting the Arizona Cardinals. Tennessee laying 3 points. This game opened up and then laying 2.5. We're out to 3. Got a little bit of extra money on Tennessee. 66% of the bets, 58% of the money on the Titans. I stay away. I'm just kind of down on both these teams this season. I think that there's some regression going to happen for both squads this year. Tennessee losing Arthur Smith. They were one of the most efficient red zone teams in the history of the NFL last season. And that key cog gone. I see their efficiency going down, and their defense suspect last year, suspect again this year. And then when I go to the other side of the ball, the Cardinals were kind of they're a nice blooming surprise last year in the beginning of the season. Nice, just a fun team. Kyler Murray running around, throwing the ball all over the place, and then really, really just shit the bed the second half of the season last year. So I don't really have a ton of confidence and feel good about them going into this year. Kingsbury, definitely questionable as a head coach in the NFL. So I just stay away. I really don't know what to do there. I guess if I had to do anything with two teams that I don't really like, I guess I would take the points. Let's go to Houston, where, boy, we got two games in a row here that are the degenerate special. Maybe I'll lump them into one. I have Jacksonville going to Houston, and I have the New York Jets going to Carolina. You got a strong angle on this game. Congratulations to you. You are a degenerate. Anyways, the Texans are catching 3 points at home, opened up catching 2.5. More money on the Jaguars, 60% of the bets, 75% of the big money on the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is just, wow. That's just something I'm surprised came out of my mouth. I don't know. I guess I don't have a strong opinion about this. Obviously, I'm not taking it, but I would lean towards taking the Texans, getting one of their maybe 3 wins this season, just as a home dog versus a rookie quarterback. Yeah, that's the only logic I have there. And then as far as Carolina hosting the New York Jets. Game opened up at 4. It got all the way out to 5.5, but then back down to 4. I don't know, some weird line movement there. We've got Carolina catching 70% of the tickets, but only 53% of the money. A little bit of difference there, so I don't really like taking the home team laying more than the field goal here with two shitty squads. I don't know, what is this, the Sam Darnold revenge game? Who knows, guys? Let's stay away. This game, no good for you. Let's go to Cincinnati. Where we have the Bengals hosting the Minnesota Vikings. Game is a solid 3-point spread. Cincinnati catching 3 at home. 7% of the bets, 77% of the money on the Vikings. That doesn't surprise me whatsoever. I think Cincinnati has one of the worst rosters in the league. And Minnesota, on paper, has a pretty good roster. But I tend to, I back Minnesota at home. They have one of the best against the spread records at home in the NFL over the past few seasons. The road against the spread record, not so good. Cincinnati blows, but I just don't trust Minnesota on the road, so I stay away here, although I would lean Minnesota and I would lay the 3 points. It's got a fun one here. Kind of really like this game. Definitely one that I had on the menu, and I just took it off. Got the Buffalo Bills hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh catching 6.5. This game opened up at 6. So we've got the spread moving out, more points for Pittsburgh, even though Pittsburgh's catching 70% of the money. So we got a little reverse line movement there, which keeps me awake because I kind of like Pittsburgh in this game, keeping it close. 6 points in the NFL is lots of spread. I don't know. I think people are down on Pittsburgh because of the way they finished the season last year. I get it. Is Ben Roethlisberger cooked? I don't know if he is or he isn't, but I kind of like the weapons they have. I kind of like Pittsburgh maybe being able to stay in this game and now having a nice little running weapon there with Najee Harris, slowing the game down a little bit. We know Buffalo's just going to throw the ball all over the joint, but if Pittsburgh could play a little clock control here, I could see this game staying close, so I definitely heavy lean there towards Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's go out to my girl, the Atlanta Falcons. High on the Falcons this year. High on the Falcons every year, guys. Falcons hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. This game opened up at 3.5. We're still at 3.5. Had a little dip down to 3 there for a second, but we are at a solid 3.5. Laying more than a field goal with Atlanta catching 53% of the tickets and 60% of the money. I like Atlanta improving this year. I like the moves they made. I like the tight end acquisition. I like having Arthur Smith at the helm. I like to see them, going from one of the least efficient red zone teams last season to one of the most efficient red zone teams this year with the coaching change. So just taking advantage of, they were pretty good between the 20s last year, just couldn't get the ball in the end zone. So I like them improving a lot there. And I would definitely lay the 3.5 here and take the Atlanta Falcons. Let's go to Detroit. Got the Lions hosting the San Francisco 49ers. This game opened up at 7.5. It's gotten out to 8.5 now, and we have it at 8. It is a lot of points in the NFL. All the money, all the tickets on the Niners, and I don't blame anybody for doing it. Little segment I usually, like to touch on is like the teaser blow up of the week here. It doesn't just look like if you take the Niners and the Rams in the teaser this week, like there's just no way you can lose. So I saw that and I figured there's no way I can take both those games. I got to pick one or the other. So I do not take this game, although I would heavily lean Niners here. I really think the Niners are going to go out and look to make a statement, almost like a college football program that was down last season, and they're going to come out in game one and try and put up 73 points on a lesser opponent. And the Niners got a lesser opponent this year. I look for the Lions to be historically bad this season. Matter of fact, why don't the Lions just go ahead and go 0-17 this year and submit their place in history as being the first 0-17 team as well? I have no problem with that. Go out to a fun one here. We've got Kansas City hosting the Cleveland Browns. The Chiefs catching 67% of the big money, 65% of the tickets. Very even there. Not a big gap. Everybody likes the Chiefs. Everybody likes Mahomes. I'm in that camp as well. Just have a hard time betting against that team, kind of an Alabama kind of thing. Don't bet against Tom Brady, all these type of things. I've got Mahomes there, and it's cost me money before. Yeah, I think this is just one you sit back, relax, and see where these teams are. As far as taking the points, I wouldn't have a problem with that either. I mean, you're right in that Vegas zone. You definitely want to catch the 5.5 and not lay the 5.5. But it still is. I mean, okay, the Browns, they're supposed to be good, but I'm still, I don't know. Maybe this, my 41-year-old mind just can't get off the fact that I have a hard time taking the Browns. So if you take the Browns, good on you. I don't really have a lean on this game. I'm just going to sit back and watch and see what happens. Oof. Let's go out to New York City, where we have the New York Football Giants hosting the Denver Broncos. 59% of the bets, 51% of the money on the Broncos. We've got the Giants catching 3 as a home dog. Everything here lines up for the Broncos. I think the Broncos are going to have a good season. I've been Teddy Bridgewater, especially as a gambling man, very good against the spread numbers, throughout his career. I just stay away from this one because I think it's just going to be an emotional cesspool out there in New York. You're going to have 9/11 ceremonies before kickoff. You're going to have this, stadium that hasn't been filled in, 18 months, full of crazy, rabid New York City fans. And I don't know, I could just see somehow, some way. I mean, this is not going to be a game where if Daniel Jones goes out and throws a pick on the first series, I don't even think that he's going to get booed yet. They're going to be so flying high. So a lot of good emotion there for the New York Giants. So this is just one I stay away from because I like Denver, but I think that there's just an intangible there that we're going to have a hard time putting our finger on. Let's go down to Jacksonville, where we have the New Orleans Saints hosting the Green Bay Packers. Saints opened up, catching 2.5. We're catching 3.5 now, despite big money coming in on the New Orleans Saints. Saints are catching, 64% of the money there. Reverse line movement, it just always freaks me out. Vegas wants us to take the Saints here. I kind of like taking the Saints here. Over 3. I think this is going to be a close game. Jameis Winston, 17-10-1 against the spread as a dog. Sean Payton, 31-13-2 against the spread as a dog. I don't know. I just think everybody's down on the Saints. I think the Saints are going to be competitive. They're going to be a tough out week in and week out this year. And, I think Green Bay definitely go down there and win a close game. But I would lean Saints here, but the weird line movement just keeps me away. All right, let's get into pick one. We are taking the Seattle Seahawks as they travel to Indianapolis. We're going to lay the 3 points. I don't know, everybody's just sleeping on Seattle this year. And they're a perennial playoff team. I don't understand why we're only laying 3 points here. I'd almost be more comfortable if I was laying 4 or 4.5. I'm walking right into a buzzsaw probably, but it's just too tasty not to pick up here. Carson Wentz started practicing this week. Was there like some sort of reason for that? I know that, he's injured. I get it. So, but 3 days of practice and, this guy that, the Eagles couldn't wait to get rid of, this quarterback that has had 2 years of just terrible play. Statistically the worst quarterback in football last season, against Russell Wilson and the Seahawks, who are, a machine. They're just a perennial machine. So, and in the East, we've got Seattle traveling out to the Central Time Zone, losing a couple hours, a big long travel day. Actually, the Seahawks are pretty good in these 1 o'clock windows, believe it or not. So I like Seattle here. I think it's an easy win. My favorite pick of the week here is the Washington football team hosting the LA Chargers. We've got this line moving all the way from Washington catching a point to laying a point, actually all the way out to 1.5 now. Money coming in on Washington, and I'm right there with everybody else. Let's get that money on the football team. A few reasons here. I'm high on Washington. I think the offense is going to be much better with an actual NFL starting quarterback in Ryan Fitzpatrick. I like their weapons: Antonio Gibson, Terry McLaurin, Logan Thomas. And really, I think the Chargers, okay, They were an under 500 team. Granted, poor coaching last year. Gotta love the rookie quarterback. But one thing I think you guys want to take into consideration this season is that these rookie quarterbacks that played well last year, any quarterback that's kind of green that played well last year, last year was not a real NFL road game. You're not going to have Justin Herbert like he did last year going to the Superdome and throwing up 6 touchdown passes because he can check at the line. He's not going to be able to hear anybody. So I think there's going to be a learning curve there. There's a learning curve with a new coaching system, new coaching staff out there in LA. So I like Washington here. Let me lay that point. Go football squad, team, whatever you want to call it. Let's go out to Foxborough. I'm going to lay the 3 points, take the New England Patriots. Maybe I'm a sucker here, I don't know, but I think this is the Bill Belichick revenge tour. I really, really like the Patriots this year. We have this game at 3 opened up, laying 2. We're out to 3 here appropriately, so money coming in on the Pats, so I'm going to throw my money down on the Pats tour, on the Pats as well. I mean, I was down on Cam Newton, so I'm glad that we don't have Cam Newton at quarterback. And I don't like Tua. Didn't like him all last year. I don't really think much is to be different this year. Again, the rookie quarterback last year that didn't have to hear any of that crowd noise. He won't be hearing some crowd noise coming tomorrow. So I look for the Patriots to be able to turn the ball over here a few times and win this game comfortably. So I'll lay the 3 points. Let's go out to Los Angeles. Told you, teaser blow up. One of those 2 games. There's something weird's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be this one. I think this is lining up for a big old ass whooping from the Rams. I'm going to take the Rams, lay the 7.5 points here, get in line with everybody else, and put my money down on Matt Stafford. I do believe that this is going to be a good season for the Rams. I just think that they've put all their chips in the middle here. And Sean McVay, obviously brilliant coaching mind. He's got the guy in place that he wants, and they are going to be, just full bore, pedal to the metal, use all the cliches you want. And really, we look at the other side of the football here. The Bears are starting Andy Dalton. They're just not doing the right thing. They should just go ahead, get the kid out there, let him play, let him run around. Yeah, Aaron Donald might catch him a couple times, but at least you're working towards something here. The Andy Dalton, Band-Aid for the first few weeks here. Andy Dalton's going to be a statue back there. And I really just hope the guy doesn't get hurt. He'll probably throw a pick 6. Jalen Ramsey taking one back wouldn't surprise me here. So I take the Rams here, I just don't see how it blows up in my face. Monday Night Football. Got the Raiders hosting the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore injured Ravens. They should just change the nickname. It's unbelievable. I've never seen so many. What are they doing out there? What's in the water? I'm going to take the home dog here on Monday Night Football. Full Vegas crowd, the black hole, whatever you want to call it. I'm not a huge fan of the Raiders either, but I think this game is a close game. I like some of the weapons that the Raiders have on offense, but this is a home dog. Go ahead and let me have it. I think you're going to see I think we're catching this at a good number too, because I think this game's going to get down to 3 by the time kickoff happens. I see a lot of money going to pour in on the Raiders here over the next couple days. Gentlemen, I am honored and humbled to be back in this competition. Really, it's something I look forward to. I put a lot of time into, and I hope you enjoy. Happy picking, boys. Let's make some money. Ciao.